Hey there, Richard Matheru here. So I've got an interesting question to ask you, and your answer may reveal some useful adjustments you can make to your network marketing business. So if you're a home business owner, stay tuned. This should do something useful for you today. So if I ask you about like traditions in for you and your family, what comes to your mind? If I say think of some traditions, write some down or bring some to your mind for me right now. We typically think of positive things, right? We think of things around like the Christmas period maybe. This is just that's a pretty good Christmas tree for me. So we typically think of like things around the holiday period, or every Sunday we do this as a family, every Monday we do that. For us, like for example, we just got back from the Lincoln Christmas market. It's something we make space for in our diary, something we look out for because hey, that's just something that we do every single year to get into the Christmas spirit. But is every single tradition a good one? Think about your network marketing business. How many events have you been to? And I can think of plenty for myself where I've gone and got hyped up. Yeah, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the month, and then people say, "Oh, this is the way we do this." In some aspect, the way we invite people, the way we market the business, the way we're told to close people or make a list, go get, the score, right? And we go, "Oh, well, why should I do that? That's just the way we do things." Okay, march along, I'll follow along like not like a sheep because we think we're getting the good advices. So we say, okay, that's just something that we do here. And if that's what we do, the power of the group takes hold, the power of tradition takes hold, and we just follow it. But we can also follow it off a cliff. You know what I mean? Like if there's 50 people or 50,000 people and they're all jumping off a cliff and you're stood here looking at them and you ask this guy and you say, hey, this guy on the edge of the cliff, you say, why are you going to jump? And he goes, I don't know, because the guy in front is. And you go, hey, well, shout that guy before he hits the rock bottom. Why you jump? And he goes, because the guy in front of me did. And he said, that's just the way we do things. Would you say, oh, I'll jump off the cliff as well then? No, you wouldn't. You'd maybe go to the edge, you'd have a little look over and you go, do I like the look of what's down there? Now, as an intelligent human being, you may say, I'm not going to make that fall. Like if there's a giant bouncy castle down there and you're like, oh, there's a party going on. Oh, now I see why everybody's jumping, right? But we take an assessment as an adult, as a human being, as an intelligent species. We don't just go and sit there and nod and go, oh, well, if everybody else is jumping off the cliff, then I guess I'll do it too. We even say this to our children. Like, if so-and-so jumped off a cliff, would you? Right? And if they say, oh yeah, I would, then we know they're being childish and silly. It's the end of the conversation, right? But because we know the smart thing to do is to think for ourselves, not be stubborn, be open to advice, but then take that advice, lay it on top of our requirements and say, is that in alignment with the result that I want to get? And this is what I'm asking you to do and appealing for you to do as an intelligent human being, as a network marketer. Because there's so many times in our industry where intelligent people come in and lose the plot and do stupid shit over and over again. Oh, this is just the way that I'm told that everybody does this, so okay, I'm going off the cliff. Well, if you don't like the look of the results that they're getting, why are you following them? You have no business making their business yours. You are responsible for the way in which you build your business, the way in which you're going to maintain it, what it is or isn't going to do for the people and yourself in your life. So grow up and grab some intelligence that you've been born with as the most intelligent species on the planet. So what I want you to do, before you take action today in your business, is just catch yourself a second before you take off over that cliff and have a little peek over. And say, this social media habit that I've got, this video I am or I'm not going to create, this podcast I am or I'm not going to do, this to-do list that I've got, is this in alignment with my goals? Or have I just settled into a tradition of, oh, when I sit at the computer, this is how I start. It's what I always do. This is how I do a phone call. This is how I prospect. It's just a tradition and what we do. Swap the word for tradition for routine. And then ask yourself, is that something smart that you really want to continue to do? I mean, look back over history, man. People used to... I read a story once where I was in the Torture Museum in Prague, and in the Czech Republic, and they were saying how that lots of women were killed in the olden days because if they walked into a town when there happened to be a storm, they would think that she was a witch. That was enough proof. And what did they do as tradition? To save the city, to save the village or the town? Well, anybody that comes into town when there's a storm is obviously bringing that with them, so we just kill them. Right? That's what we do. That was the tradition. Is that a smart way to live? That anybody knew coming into our town of crazy killer people, let's just drown them or kill them because it happens to be raining. I mean, come on, imagine if you did that today. Like, just some habits and some traditions are stupid I'm appealing to your better nature to take a look at that for yourself, so you can build a business that's in alignment with your goals, that is the way in which you want to build it, and you don't back yourself into a corner by doing all this stuff, either getting or not getting results, and then being like, well, I got nowhere left to go because my habits are just so ingrained and I've not allowed myself to think for myself. That's just what I wanted to appeal for you to do today. So did that help? Was that useful? Did that give you a gentle or even a stern reminder that, okay, maybe you're following the wrong crowd, maybe you haven't asked intelligent questions? Hey, I'm not saying you're stupid. I did this too for years. This is just what happens in our industry. We get along with the group and we think it's the right thing. We trust people, but we need to ask thinking for ourselves before we take action. So as always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. Oh, and if you are like this style of training, kind of more direct, more appealing to your professional nature of how you would build any type of business, it's the same in network marketing. We've got to be professionals about this. Then you can go to richardmatheru.com/webinar, and as you would expect, a webinar link, you'll find a free webinar. That's me giving you my best training on the 3 essentials to building a network marketing business in a much more professional, predictable way. It's how I've done things, and I've sponsored over 700 people, so it does work pretty well. I'll catch you on the next video or podcast if you're a subscriber. Hope you've had a fantastic day. Please take stock before you take your next action. Go through your to-do list. You may find it very revealing, and the adjustments you can now make can set you on a new path, change your business, change your life. Who knows where it could lead? I hope it leads somewhere good. Bye for now.